Transparency, inclusion and accountability define the Caribbean Growth Forum's approach to using public-private dialogue to identify, prioritise and implement key reforms.
The region has been calling for action. When we've gone to each CGF national event, national launch, we had to overcome initial skepticism about these are old ideas, really what is needed is action. And what the CGF wanted to do is to first be able to share these ideas with a wide slice of the population, to be as inclusive as possible in the dialogue, and also to create, through sustaining this dialogue, coalitions for change. And the amount of private sector people that we see here today that are part of these working groups, so it's not only public sector speaking to itself, it means that we have been able to create these coalitions for change.
We're very, very well aware of what the issues are. So what we need to do now is solve them, take action.
Participation has been fantastic, constant, structured, and this has led to tangible results. The success story now is participation, engagement, the transparency, the fact that governments have accepted to engage in a process which is open and inclusive.
What is different from this dialogue and previous dialogues that may have been attempted is that it is all-embracing and it has covered the entire region and all actors in the region. To me, that is what is propelling the momentum of the Caribbean Growth Forum as the basis upon which we can create a situation that will inspire the population.
The CGF methodology is distinctly different from other types of consultation. It is a sustained and facilitated conversation which takes place over a period of several months.
We have to prioritize the issues that we have, and we have to throw a lot of resources at them, and resources across the region if we are to be successful.
The Caribbean Growth Forum attempts to be a lot more inclusive in the approach to policy articulation and policy formulation. So it is really one that sort of sets itself apart from the very way that the dialogue is unfolding.
Economic development is as much a destination as it is a process. And sometimes we focus more on the process or more on the destination, and we don't link the two. And I firmly believe that the Caribbean will do a lot better once we focus on the process and the destination of economic development.
During the first year of the CGF, national chapters were launched across 12 territories. These launches originated from a diagnostic of the most pressing concerns of that particular country and was followed by a collective exercise asserting priorities and formulating concrete action plans. The second phase of the CGF will focus on supporting and tracking implementation.
And I think that's the question for us now, is having, in a sense, restated a lot of the dimensions of the difficulties that we've had. How do we now implement proposed solutions to ensure that we do address these problems that have been identified? So action and implementation will be key.
Launched against the philosophy that growth is possible even under difficult circumstances, the CGF is expected to lead to solid reforms in logistics, connectivity, investment climate and productivity, inducing the necessary growth to create jobs that our people deserve.
The Caribbean Growth Forum allows a diverse range of interests to sort of get together, compare notes, look at what works, what doesn't work, share ideas, and move within their own nations, within their own countries, on key initiatives that allow for growth.
In fact, the Caribbean is a lot more heterogeneous than we think. Not only in these 15 countries you have 4 languages, the prevailing one being English, but you have Spanish as a language, you have French as a language, and Dutch. And not only that, we found out in all the different action plans, and more so when we divided ourselves into subgroups, which were very focused on specific themes, that the countries have approached those themes differently. They're at different stages of developing those themes as well. So they were able to tell each other, you know what, we went that way before, why don't you consider this? We're trying this now and it seems to work. We had specialists from the international financial institutions there as well. And these specialists were also able to tell them, you know, best practice around the world is to do this and this, why don't you consider it? And it was a very enriching exercise.